The chief executive of Woolworths, Brad Banducci, is stepping down. Joining us live now, business reporter Ed Boyd. Big shock, Ed.
Yeah, look, Pete, I think this is a massive shock. Look, we were talking just an hour ago about how he has been in the role for about 8.5 years, but there's been no indication that he was going to step down from his job running Australia's largest supermarket chain. So, bit of a surprise this morning. It's going to be interesting to see what the share price reaction will be on the markets. But basically, you can see on the screen here, earlier this week, Brad Banducci, the chief executive, has been under a lot of pressure. There's been a lot of talk about the cost of living, about pricing at supermarkets, not just Woolworths, but Coles, IGA, and all the other competitors. And he did an interview on Monday with ABC and basically got up and walked out of the interview. That was a bit of a red flag, probably just showing his state of mind at the moment, the pressure that he's under.
Yeah.
And then this morning, just 10 minutes ago, we get this update from Woolworths as part of their profit results. The first piece of info they put out to the market is the retirement of the chief executive, Brad Banducci. He has been at Woolworths for 13 years, but they've appointed Amanda Bardwell as the new CEO. She's going to take over in September. So the transition will basically happen after this financial year is completed. But she's been the head of Woolies X, which is just around the corner from me here in Surrey Hills, the head office. And that's been a business that they've been growing pretty strongly since 2015, and it's apparently worth about $7 billion. So she's going to be the new head of Woolworths, but not until September. But obviously, bit of a surprise here this morning, Pete, to be honest with you, hearing just straight off from the market update that Brad Banducci is stepping down and retiring after a few years in the role.
I mean, I guess that comes to. I mean, look, I think he was due to face a Senate inquiry, and yes, look, if he couldn't handle the heat of an interview, I mean, maybe he didn't want to deal with that. I mean, geez, that shows he doesn't have a whole lot of spine if that's the case.
Well, look, you'd imagine. I hope we're going to be on a conference call with him a little bit later today, I think around 9:30, so in just about an hour's time. But we'll say, look, are you still going to front up to the Senate inquiry coming up? Because obviously that's going to be highly scrutinised. You can't walk out on the Senate. You've got to stay there for every question, and it can go for several hours, and it's just question after question hammering you, and people do get frustrated when they're there before the Senate. You remember Qantas, the Senate appearance with them was meant to go for, I think, an hour and a half. It went for 3.5 to 4 hours, and then it went on for another day. So the senators just had question after question.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see whether he wants to continue doing it.
Well, I mean, you got this. Yeah, you got the price gouging inquiries at the moment too, and I'm just looking at this remuneration here, Ed. $2.15 million a year will be the package for Amanda Bardwell, inclusive of superannuation as well. Is there any chat about what Brad would get on the way out?
I'll have to look through the documents, Pete, to see. But when he was appointed in 2016, there will be his remuneration package would have been completely disclosed to the market then. And I'll have a look and see what sort of, there's probably share bonuses and things like that. I'm sure that he'll get on the way out, definitely.
Yeah, no, you'll get to just stay there, Ed. Just for those folks who didn't see this, because I think it's very telling of the pressure that he's under, and Ed, you referred to this as well. So let's play this with the audio so people can see. This is the exchange that Brad Banducci had with the ABC reporter on Monday night.
Sorry, the former head of the Competition Commission says his words are that
retired, by the way.
I don't think you would impugn his integrity and his understanding of competition law.
I'm just saying the world has got much more competitive.
He retired 18 months ago. He's not...
Okay, can we take that out? Is that okay? I mean, he is retired, but I shouldn't have said that, Angus. Are we going to leave it in there if we are?
Well, I mean, we're on the record. You said it. I mean, let's move on, but... Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I'm done, guys. I do this with good intent. I don't do this with bad intent.
It was pretty good work from the ABC reporter, you got to say. Now, so that gives you an idea, folks, of the pressure that Banducci was certainly under at the moment. So like you said, Ed, I mean, this has completely taken the focus off what the actual profit was with Woolworths reporting today. So what was it?
Look, profit was pretty good. So Woolworths' underlying profit was higher than last year, about $929 million. But as I said earlier today, they did flag there was a problem with their New Zealand business. So when you look at it on a statutory basis, Woolworths have reported a loss of $781 million on a statutory basis. But you always look at the underlying profits. And the sales are up, the dividend has been increased for shareholders, so they'll be happy there. So Woolworths have continued to, operate a pretty successful business at a decent margin. So expect there should be a pretty strong share price reaction, I'd say, this morning.
Yeah, I wonder why then. If the shareholders liked him. I wonder why.
Yeah, look, he honestly doesn't do that many public appearances.
Yeah.
He used to do more one-on-one interviews. We used to speak to him every profit results at Sky News. But that all sort of stopped when inflation started becoming a really big talking point and cost of living. And since then, it's sort of dried up for a fair bit.
The ACCC,
ACCC.
getting right under his skin, as well as ABC reporters. Anyway, Ed, well done. Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.